Genesis chapter 14. And in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, Kedar-laomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of the nations, they made war with Bela, king of Sodom, and with Birsha, king of Gomorrah, Shinav, king of Admah, and Shemeber, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar. All these were joined together to the valley of Siddim, which is the Salt Sea. They served Kedar-laomer for 12 years, and the 13th year they rebelled. And in the 14th year Kedar-laomer and the kings that were with him came and struck the giants in Ashtaroth, Karnaim, and the Zuzim in Ham, and the Emim in Shaveh Kirataim, and the Horites in the mount of Seir, as far as El Paran, which is by the wilderness. And they turned back and came to Ain Mishpat, which is Kadesh, and struck all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites who lived in Hazazon Tamar. And the king of Sodom went out, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar. And they set the battle with them in the valley of Siddim, with Kedar-laomer the king of Elam, and with Tidal the king of the nations, and Amraphel the king of Shinar, and Arioch the king of Elasar, 4 kings with the 5. And the valley of Siddim was full of asphalt pits, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there. And they that remained fled to the mountain. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all their food, and went away. And they took Lot, the son of Abram's brother, and his goods, and left. And he was living in Sodom. And one who had escaped came and told Abram the Hebrew, for he was living among the oaks of Mamre, the Amorite, the brother of Eshcol and Anel, and these had a covenant with Abram. And when Abram heard that his brother was captured, even then he led out his trained men, born of his household, 318, and they pursued as far as Dan, and he divided against them by night, he and his slaves, and he struck them, and chased them as far as Hobah, which is on the left of Damascus. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought back his brother, and also the women and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him, after he returned from smiting Kedar-laomer and the kings which were with him, to the valley of Shaveh, it being the valley of the king. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. And he blessed him, and said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be the Most High God, who has delivered your enemies into your hand. And he gave him a tithe of all. And the king of Sodom said to Abram, Give me the persons, and take the goods for yourself. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up my hand to Jehovah, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from all that is yours, from a thread to a shoe latchet, and that you may not say, I have made Abram rich. Nothing for me, only what the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men who went with me, Anel, Eshcol, and Mamre. Let them take their portion. Matthew chapter 14. At that time Herod the Tetrarch heard the fame of Jesus, and he said to his servants, This is John the Baptist. He has risen from the dead, and because of this, powerful works are working in him. For seizing John, Herod bound him and put him into prison because of Herodias, the wife of his brother Philip. For John had said to him, It is not lawful for you to have her. And desiring to kill him, he feared the multitude, because they held him as a prophet. But a birthday feast for Herod being held, the daughter of Herodias danced in the midst, and pleased Herod. So then he promised with an oath to give her whatever she should ask. But she, being urged on by her mother, says, Give me here on a platter the head of John the Baptist. And the king was grieved, but because of the oaths and those who had reclined with him, he ordered it to be given. And sending, he beheaded John in the prison, and his head was brought on a platter, and he was given to the girl, and she brought it to her mother. And coming, his disciples took the body and buried it, and coming, they reported to Jesus. And hearing, Jesus withdrew from there in a boat into a desert place apart. And hearing, the crowds followed him on foot from the cities. And going out, Jesus saw a great crowd, and was filled with pity toward them, and he healed their infirmities. And evening coming, his disciples came near to him, saying, The place is a desert, and the hour is already gone. Dismiss the crowds, that going away into the villages they may buy provisions for themselves. But Jesus said to them, They have no need to go away. You give them food to eat. But they said to him, We have nothing here except 5 loaves and 2 fish. And he said, Bring them here to me. And commanding the crowds to recline on the grass, and taking the 5 loaves and 2 fish, looking up to heaven, he blessed. And breaking, he gave the loaves to his disciples, and the disciples gave to the crowds, and all ate and were satisfied. And they took up the left-over pieces, 12 handbaskets full. And the ones eating were about 5,000 men, besides women and children. And immediately Jesus made his disciples get into a boat, and to go before him to the other side, until he should dismiss the crowds. And having dismissed the crowds, he went up into the mountain alone to pray. And evening coming on, he was there alone. But the boat was now in the middle of the sea, tossed by the waves, for the wind was contrary. But in the 4th watch of the night, Jesus went out to them, walking on the sea. And seeing him walking on the sea, the disciples were troubled, saying, It is a ghost! And they cried out from the fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, Be comforted, I am. Do not fear. And answering him, Peter said, Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the waters. And he said, Come. And going down from the boat, Peter walked on the waters to go to Jesus. But seeing the strong wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, saying, Lord, save me. And immediately, stretching out the hand, Jesus took hold of him, and said to him, Little faith, why did you doubt? And coming into the boat, the wind ceased. And those in the boat came and worshipped him, saying, Truly, you are the Son of God. And having passed over, they came to the land of Gennesaret. And recognizing him, the men of that place sent to all that neighborhood and brought to him all those who had illness. And they begged him that they might touch the fringe of his robe. And as many as touched were made perfectly well.